How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Set 6, and today we're going to be taking a look at some early tips for Atomfall. Atomfall is a first-person survival action RPG-ish, developed by Rebellion, and on that note, massive thank you to Rebellion for gifting me a copy of the game to make content with, mega appreciated. But yeah, Atomfall is set in an alternate history version of Northern England, set 5 years after an altered version of the 1957 Windscale nuclear disaster. And I think because of that, it's impossible for the game to kind of escape any kind of comparison with Fallout, Fallout itself being a post-apocalyptic alternate history version of America. So yeah, it's very much the same sort of energy, but a very different delivery of it. I would say the RPG systems are scaled back a little bit more in Atomfall, and it's more focused on interactions in the world and things that you do. You start the game by being woken up by a scientist he's not having a good day, and then you go on to explore a quarantine zone around the reactor, and it's full of stuff. Lots of bunkers, little locations that you can go to, outlaws that are causing problems. Yeah, definitely causing problems. And the goal seems to be to get the truth out there. You're trying to find the mystery of this place and get out. That seems to be the goal. Now, I've been having a great time with the game so far. There's nothing like having a nice, refreshing cup of tea after killing a few outlaws. And today, I'm going to give you my beginner tips so that you can get the best start to Atomfall. So, like the video, subscribe for future content, but let's jump into it. Now, the first couple of tips are going to be more combat related, and the first of these is in the very early game, you've obviously not got many weapons, so you want to be as sneaky as possible. You don't want to be walking up to a group of 4 or 5 outlaws and just getting into a fight with them because you're probably going to die. The best thing that you can do is be stealthy, avoid certain encounters in the very early game. If you catch someone on their own and you can sneak up and get around the back of them, definitely do that because you'll be able to take them out and get some loot. You can use the takedown ability, which is just extra good, but just be careful using that if there's other enemies nearby because the person will make a noise as you snuff them out. And another thing that goes along with stealth being very useful in the early game is melee, especially in any one-on-one situation. You'll be alright going melee one-on-one, maybe even 2-on-1, but if you start taking on too many enemies, unless you've spent some skill points into your melee skills and got a decent weapon, you might be okay. But yeah, very much in the early game, you want to be sneaky, and you want to be using your melee weapons to your advantage because they won't run out on you. Whereas if you're relying on like a shotgun that you've found, you might only have 2 or 3 shells in the very early game. And once they're gone, they're gone. So yeah, be stealthy, use melee weapons. Now the next tip is a huge one, and it is to make sure that you get a metal detector as soon as possible. The earliest and smoothest way that I've found to pick one up is, once you come out into the quarantine zone, a nice red British phone box will be in front of you, it'll ring, you'll do the thing there. And after that, you want to go left, and you'll find a little abandoned house, but just next to the abandoned house you'll find a character called Nat. Have a little chat with them, and as long as the conversation goes well, they should direct you to this location on the map. I'm showing you now just in case the conversation doesn't go well. I made him sad one time and he didn't speak to me anymore. Don't tell him about the phone call. Just don't tell him about the phone call, because he'll think you're a weirdo and just won't speak to you. But anyway, he'll tell you to go and speak to Molly, who's a trader over in this area here on the map, and Molly has a metal detector. Now, the metal detector is pretty special. It's pretty special. As long as you've got it in your inventory in one of those slots, while you're walking around, if it picks up a signal of anything just under the ground, it'll beep and let you know. You just hit Q, you'll get it out, and then all you need to do is hold right click, and whichever one of the red lights is on, that's the direction you kind of need to be going in. So if the central one's on, just go straight forwards. If it's the one to the far right, turn right. If it's the one to the far left, turn left. I think you get it. And just keep moving forwards, and you'll see the bar go up and up and up and up. And once you're above the thing that you're looking for, all of the lights will start flashing. Then you left click, and you'll unearth some treasure. And this is probably the best source of consistent loot in the game. Like, I found myself just wandering around, just filling up and then running back to a trader and then going back out and filling up on items again. It's very useful. So make sure that you get the metal detector. It will pay for itself very quickly. Very quickly. But what are we going to do with all this stuff that we're finding? Well, we're going to craft with a lot of it. We're going to sell a lot of it as well. We're definitely going to sell a lot of it, but we're going to craft with a fair bit of it. And crafting is very important. When you're hunting about, make sure that you're picking up all of the raw resources like the glass jars and the scrap metal and cloth. Keep an eye out for cloth. Cloth is very useful. Alcohol as well. Make sure that you're picking all of these things up because they'll let you craft things like bandages. And bandages can definitely save you in a rough situation. Not only that though, later on in the game, you will be able to unlock weapon crafting, gunsmithing. And that means that you will be able to take duplicate weapons that you have, use the gunsmithing skill, and upgrade that weapon potentially to its next tier. And this is how you get the better weapons and how you can make sure that you're doing the most damage to the enemies that you can do. Because again, bullets, a little bit scarce. You want to make sure that you're getting the most out of each one, so upgrading your weapons is a good shout. Now, speaking of unlocking weapon crafting, you can get the skill book to unlock gunsmithing on the skill tree from a character called Morris in the village of Wyndham. He runs the item shop. There's an event that takes place in the church in Wyndham, and if you follow the story quest from that, it will lead you to Morris, and from there you can then go and speak to him and extort him to give you the manual. Now, that's not to say that you can't do the other side of the quest as well by going and speaking to the vicar and then going and speaking to Morris. You'll see what I mean, just mess around with it yourself, but just make sure that you tell Morris to make it worth your while not to say anything and you'll get the item. After that you can do what you want. Once you've got the item, obviously anything's fair game, so do what you do, but make sure that you tell him to make it worth your while and get that book. Now, we've touched on traders a little bit. Keep an eye on their inventories for anything like skill books and recipes, but also keep in mind that a lot of these things can be found out in the world. I suppose it comes down to how urgently you need or want the book in question. I would guess that you'll be able to find the crafting manual somewhere out in the world, but the quickest and most efficient way to do it in my mind is to go and get it from Morris. You will always have a little bit of a rough time trading with shopkeepers in Atomfall because they always want to make a profit and they don't care about your feelings, but some traders do like specific items. For example, Molly loves Molotov cocktails, see what they did there, and she'll give you more money for those items. You'll be able to tell this thanks to a little yellow arrow on the item that indicates that they like it, and on the flip side of that, you'll also see a red arrow for any item that they're not particularly keen on buying, so they'll give you a lower price for that. Just keep an eye on it, try and maximize your profits as much as you can by, if you know, for example, you've got like 4 Molotovs, don't go sell them to Morris, go sell them to Molly and get some good items out of Molly for them. It just makes sense. And then finally, we're picking up a lot of things, and the storage in Atomfall is a little bit limited. However, there is an answer to this. Make sure that you explore some of the bunkers that are dotted around the map, or head to one of the entrances to the interchange as quickly as you can, because in these locations you will find a lovely little thing on the wall called a pneumatic tube. And pneumatic tubes are a godsend in this game, as you've, like I said, got a very, very small inventory, and you'll be finding a lot of items, a lot of weapons especially, that you want to keep for the weapon crafting, for the gunsmithing skill, and you will quickly fill your inventory up if you're carrying all of those around with you. Pneumatic tubes act as an interconnected strongbox system where you can access an external storage from any pneumatic tube in the game. You'll want to store things like quest items such as batteries, but I feel, for me at least, the main use is storing things like duplicated weapons that you'll have been collecting and picking up on so that you can upgrade the weapons that you've got and kill all of the things. Kill all of the things? Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, that's my beginner tips for Atomfall. Let me know if you've been playing Atomfall. How do you feel about it? Have you been having a good time? Have you got any other little tips that I may have missed that could help people out and help me out with playing through Atomfall? Let me know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe for future content, but more importantly than all of that, have a great day.